So Beth, we've been talking about controlling those automatic negative thoughts that come in, and how's that been going? Has that been easy for you? Has that been hard for you?
Well, it's always a little hard.
It's always a little hard. So today we're going to do a new strategy called mindfulness. Have you heard of mindfulness before?
Yes.
Okay, so basically what mindfulness is focusing on one thing at one time. So mindfulness is good just to help you kind of get control when you're feeling like your thoughts are kind of going crazy. It just kind of helps you center yourself so that you can kind of focus on what you want to focus and hopefully slow down the busy thoughts in your mind. And it also can help with relaxation and stress management. So we're going to do 3 different strategies today. Okay, the first one is going to be mindful eating, which is just a way to help you learn to focus on something that you do all the time. Then we're going to do some mindful breathing, and then we're going to finish with what's called a body scan, which is a guided meditation that kind of helps you relax. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so the first thing we're going to do is mindful eating. So I've got craisins. Do you like craisins? I'm going to let you pick one out, and I'm going to take one myself. So when I say mindfulness is focusing on one thing at one time, we're literally going to focus on this craisin like this is the most exciting thing you've ever seen in your life. So we're going to notice it with all of our senses. So the first thing obviously is a sense of touch. So touch it, notice the texture, the temperature, what it feels like rolling around in your hand. Next, we're going to notice the sound, which you think, well, it's a craisin. How does it make sound? Hold it by your ear, just kind of rub it around. Do you notice any little sound?
A little sticky.
A little sticky sound? Yes. You can take a moment and just really look at it. Notice the colors, the shape, where you see sticky parts and wrinkly parts. Next is the smell. Pull up to your nose. Do you notice the smell?
Yep. Smells more like a raisin.
Smells like a raisin.
Sweet.
Sweet. All right, the last thing you're going to do is you're going to place it on your tongue. And just let it kind of sit there for a minute. And again, notice the textures. Notice the flavors. Is it sweet? Is it tart? Is it a little bit of both? When you're ready, you can chew it up and swallow it. So how was that?
An interesting experience.
Seems a little weird, right?
A little strange, but I can see focusing on each of the aspects.
So when you were doing all the senses with the craisin, what were you thinking about?
Only thinking about those particular things, the shapes, the taste of it, the smell of it. I was in the moment there.
So you weren't thinking about all the other things that you have going on in your mind, all the things that are stressing you out. So, and that's something you can do with any object. It doesn't have to be food. Food's just one we're most used to and really gets all those senses. But you could do that with a pen. You could be sitting at your desk and pull out a pen and just try to find something about that pen you've never noticed before. When you're giving your full attention to one thing at one time, it just stops the monkey brain, as it's called, to slow down and be calm. Think that's something you might try?
I definitely would try that.
Okay.
Definitely.
Good. Good. All right, so the next one we're going to do is when you feel yourself starting to get a little anxious. And when you feel yourself, I know that never happens.
Never.
When you feel yourself getting a little anxious, you can't just pull out a craisin and start, doing something like that to focus. So breathing is something that you can do anywhere, anytime, even in the car when you're driving. If you're feeling anxious being in traffic, you can do these things. We're going to do them with eyes closed, but you can always do them with eyes open. And what's great about mindful breathing is that you can be in a room with 50 people and nobody knows, oh, she's doing mindful breathing. Nobody notices. So it gives you a chance to center yourself without everybody being like, oh, she needs to calm down. So the first one is called either 4x4 or square breathing. So I call it 4x4, but it goes like a square. You're going to inhale for 4 count, You're going to hold your breath for a 4 count. You're going to exhale for a 4 count and pause for a 4 count. So I'm going to walk you through it and count for you, and then I'm going to have you do it yourself, counting yourself in your mind, because part of the mindfulness is by you counting in your mind, you're going to stop the other thoughts from coming in, so you can just focus on that breathing. But when we do it the first time, you're going to focus on just listening to my voice and following my directions. You ready?
I think I am.
Okay, so we're going to inhale. So we're going to inhale on the count of 4, hold for the count of 4, exhale for 4, pause for 4, and repeat. Okay?
Okay.
You got it? Okay. So start to inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold your breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale slowly. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. You can open your eyes. So how was that?
It'll be easy to do.
Easy to do? All right. So this time I'm going to have you try it, and you're going to count just on your own. So it's inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, pause for 4. How's that? How are your thoughts when you were doing that?
I had none.
That's
Just
good.
breathing. Just breathing.
So you were focused on the breath, on the counting. So that's something, again, that's really easy to just grab onto when you just need a minute. Next one's a little harder, but it really helps you get, a lot of times we don't oxygenate our bodies enough. We breathe pretty shallow, right? And so your mind, to work properly, needs oxygen. So this one's going to require you to get a lot of air in. So I know you're not a smoker, so hopefully you'll be able to do this one. I know smokers struggle with this one, but we'll see how you do. It's called 7-11. And how we inhaled and exhaled on 4, this time we're going to inhale on 7, and we're going to exhale on 11. So we're going to exhale really, really slowly on an 11 count. So that's where it gets hard. Think of it as you're not just, but think of it almost like you're blowing on hot soup. If you had a spoonful of hot soup and you went, what would happen to the hot soup?
It's washed.
Right. So if you just like you blow on hot soup, that will help you get it out slowly. So this one again, I'll count for you the first time, and then you'll do it. Okay? You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna start inhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're gonna exhale really slow. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And notice your body was up like this, and then as you started to go, it started to come down. It's almost like a balloon, and you're letting all the air out of the balloon. How'd that feel to breathe so slowly?
It's a little bit hard.
A little bit hard.
That's a challenge.
That one's a challenge. Where were you feeling pain, or was it
Almost a little lightheaded.
a little lightheaded? Okay. So I think the 4 is one that you might be a little more comfortable with.
Doing myself.
Doing yourself. Do you want to try one more time, or do you
Sure.
think? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. You feel comfortable.
Wasn't that?
Okay. I don't want you to fall over on the couch. I want you to be comfortable. So, all right. Let's try one more time. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and exhale. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A little less lightheaded on that one?
Yep. Controlled it a little more.
Yeah. And being lightheaded is normal. Your body's not used to taking in oxygen that deeply and that slowly, so your head, I mean, I do this with young kids and they have the same effect because they're just not used to it. They're not used to having all that oxygen coming to their brain that slowly.
Probably a good thing to do.
Yes. So the last one we're going to do is a guided meditation. This is one of those things that you want to do alone in a quiet place. So whereas the other things you can do in public, this is your private. I've had a rough day. I need to center myself. I need to relax. Or, you could be at work and, close the door for a little bit. It's something that's not long, but it definitely helps center yourself. So the one I'm going to do is a body scan, and I'm going to talk you through it. And it's something that you could do on your own. But there's also lots of apps that have lots of guided meditations. So when we're finished, I can show you some of those if you want to try those as well.
So there's an app for that.
There's an app for everything, absolutely. There's tons of mindfulness apps. So this one is just a body scan. So basically all it is you going through all the parts of your body and noticing them. And so it's the reason why I like to start people with meditation with guided meditation is because your mind's moving. And if you just try to sit in silence, have you ever tried that, to try to just sit in silence and meditate?
It's difficult to do.
What happens with...
Your mind goes everywhere.
Yeah.
And it goes to your shopping list and other things that you have to do.
Exactly. So this gives you something to focus on. So it's giving you an action to do so that your mind is doing an action and your mind is also listening at the same time. So your mind is being kept busy two different ways. So it really helps kind of put those thoughts to side. Now, you might get some thoughts to come in. And if you do, I kind of think of my brain as a living room. And if I get a thought, you don't judge the thought. You don't say, oh, I shouldn't be thinking. You just say, okay, here's a thought. I'm going to put you on the couch. You sit on the couch and watch what we do. The thought will always be there, sitting on the couch, taking a break while we do this activity. So if you notice thoughts coming in, don't say, oh, I can't think, I have to focus. Just say, hi, thought, sit on the couch. And then focus back. Does that help?
I think.
Okay, so I want you to get comfortable, feet flat on the floor. You can sit back if you want, however you're comfortable. You want your back straight so that you can breathe, but not sitting straight like a soldier. You want to be soft and comfortable with however you're going to be comfortable. And we're going to begin with just taking a really slow, deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. As you're inhaling in, I want you to feel your stomach coming in. And as you're exhaling, your stomach coming out. Now on the inhale, I want you to think of inhaling all that good oxygen. And then exhaling all that negativity. Inhale positivity. And exhale negativity. Now I want you to bring your attention to your feet. Begin observing the sensations in your feet. You might want to wiggle your toes a little. Feel your toes against your shoes. Just notice without judgment. You might imagine sending your breath down to your feet, as if the breath is traveling through your nose to the lungs and through the abdomen, all the way down to your feet. And then back up again, out through your nose and lungs. Perhaps you don't feel anything at all. That's fine too. Just allow yourself to feel the sensation of not feeling anything. When you're ready, allow your feet to dissolve in your mind's eye and move your attention to your ankles, your calves, your knees, and your thighs. Observe the sensations you're experiencing throughout the exercise. Gently notice without judgment. Bring your mind to noticing the sensations in your legs. If you notice any discomfort, pain, or stiffness, don't judge it, just simply notice it. Observe how all sensations rise and fall, shift and change, moment to moment. Notice now how the sensation is permanent. Just observe and allow the sensations to be in the moment just as they are. Breathe into and out from the legs. Then on your next out breath, allow the legs to dissolve in your mind and move to the sensations in your lower back and pelvis. softening and releasing as you breathe in and out. Slowly move your attention to your mid-back and upper back. Become curious about the sensations here. You may become aware of sensations in the muscle, temperature, or points of contact with furniture. With each out-breath, you may let go of the tension you're carrying, and then very gently shift your focus to your stomach and all the internal organs here. Perhaps you notice the feeling of clothing, the process of digestion, or the belly rising or falling with each breath. If you notice opinions arising about these areas, gently let these go and return to noticing the sensations. As you continue to breathe, bring your awareness to the chest and heart region. Just notice your heartbeat. Observe how your chest rises during the inhale and how it falls during the exhale. Let go of any judgments that may arise. On the next out-breath, shift the focus to your hands and fingertips. See if you can channel your breathing into and out of this area, as if you are breathing into and out from your hands. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the sensations of your hands. And then, on the next out-breath, shift the focus and bring your awareness into your arms. Observe the sensations or lack of sensations that may be occurring there. You might notice a difference between the left arm and the right arm. No need to judge this. As you exhale, you may experience the arms soften and release tensions. Continue to breathe and shift focus to the neck, shoulder, and throat region. This is an area where we often have tension. Be with the sensations here. It could be tightness, rigidity, or holding. You may notice the shoulders moving along with the breath. Let go of any thoughts or stories you're telling about this area. As you breathe, you may feel tension rolling off your shoulders. On the next out-breath, shift your focus and direct your attention to the scalp, head, and face. Observe all the sensations occurring there. Notice the movement of the air as you breathe into or out of the nostrils or mouth. As you exhale, you might notice a softening of any tension you may be holding. And now let your attention to expand out to include the entire body as a whole. Bring into your awareness the top of your head to the bottom of your toes. Feel the gentle rhythm of the breath as it moves through the body. As you come to the end of this practice, take a full, deep breath, taking in all the energy of this practice. Bring in the positivity and exhale fully the negativity. And when you are ready, open your eyes and return to this present moment. As you become fully alert and awake, consider setting the intention that this practice of building awareness will benefit everyone you come in contact with today. So how are you feeling after that?
Quite relaxed.
Good.
It's nice.
Good. How did it feel when you were doing it? How were the thoughts?
I was a few times having to say, go sit on the couch over there, and you can just watch. But
Did the thoughts listen?
yeah, actually they toddled right along.
Good.
So I thought it was good.
So, and that's something that, obviously somebody talking it to you takes over another part of your mind, but you can even just, sometimes just sitting, just kind of notice your toes. Notice it as it goes up your body, and it helps you relax. So this is something that, Rome wasn't built in a day, just like with trying to recognize the thoughts and noticing when you're having the negative thoughts. This is something the more you practice, the easier it gets, the more routine it becomes, and the more it can help you when you're dealing with those issues. Do you have any questions?
Just it might take time, I think, to how to discern which one would be best for what situation that you're in.
Definitely, and and that's something that we can work on too. When we talk about situations when you've been feeling anxiety or situations where you're feeling overwhelmed, we can look at those specific situations and say, okay, which one could we put there? So, when in doubt, breathing's always the easiest to access. So I would always say, when in doubt, breathe. When you know nothing else, breathe. But we can definitely look at in more detail. When we talk about some of those other experiences, we can attach them to it. For this week, I just want you to try. When you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling overwhelmed, pick one and try it, and just notice how you feel. And then if you have time that night when you journal, just kind of write about if that strategy helped, how you felt before, how you felt after, was it intrusive, those kinds of things. And then next week we can talk about those.
I think it will be helpful.
Okay, good. All right, thank
Thank
you. All right, how long was that?
21 minutes.
It's a little long, but that's all right. It is what it is. Thank you. How was that?
Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe I said too much.
No, it's perfect. You need it to be natural. No, my body scan was longer than it needed to be, but that's okay. I love body scan though. I do it all the time. It relaxes me.
I do it before I try to go to sleep.